We're talking commodities now with particular focus on wheat production. Now, wheat is one of the most imported, processed and consumed foods in Nigeria, with total amount consumed put at around 4.5 million tons per annum. But the local production is only about 600,000 metric tons per annum, leaving a very huge gap to cover importation. Now, according to the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Aldo Ogbe, about $4.6 billion is spent to import wheat annually. Now, the federal government is hoping to reduce this amount of money spent to import wheat and, of course, attain self-sufficiency by 2019. How and how quickly can this be achieved? I'm hoping that Amaka Ajebu, who is an economic research analyst with Financial Derivatives Company, can help answer that question. Good morning to you, Amaka.
Good morning.
It's great to have you join me on the program this morning. So, as usual, we'll talk about the commodities, but with particular emphasis today on wheat, and it's not unconnected to what I just said, just before introducing you to talk about it on the program. Talk to us about the state of wheat production in Nigeria. We just have only about 600,000 metric tons being produced locally, but we consume as much as 4.5 million tons per annum.
Yes, and that figure is actually going to increase in 2017 to 4.6 million tons. So the demand for wheat is really high in Nigeria, and efforts have been made both domestically and internationally to help prop up our agricultural sector. So just recently, the federal government cut wheat importation, by 30%, in order to help local producers get access to the markets, the domestic and in the nearest future, the international markets. So we see the federal government really trying to channel their focus towards this grain. And we also see the African Development Bank just released their statement saying they were going to, over a 10-year period, they were going to channel $24 billion into their Feed Africa project. So you can see a lot of policies being channeled towards agriculture and most especially wheat production in Nigeria.
But then you see, at this time, one would ask that why we have such a low patronage of locally produced wheat is because of the quality.
Yes.
And in the federal government, the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development actually mentioned it, that various types of this wheat have actually been encouraged. Research and development has consistently gone on, but we still seem to have, not so many people patronizing, locally produced wheat.
Yes, it's because they're used to years of patronizing imported goods due to their quality, and also these farmers are not producing at full capacity. They are not employing the recent latest technology, in producing this product. So I, as a consumer, would rather go for the high-end wheat produce at any price, just so I can maintain my utility. So yes, so these farmers have to learn how to adopt the newest technology, look for the best seeds in order to plant, and just look for ways in order to make their products more attractive to consumers in Nigeria.
And how easy do you think that is?
It's not easy. It's going to take a lot of policy, it's going to take a lot of money, going to take a lot of policy initiatives to help channel focus into this industry. So,
have you been opportune to ever speak to wheat producers, for instance, to find out what really is their issue? Different strokes, I say, for different folks. Yeah. He who wears the shoes knows where he pinches.
Yes. So no, I haven't been able to speak directly to wheat producers, but if you read up on grievances of farmers, they don't have enough funds to embark on these, because as a farmer, if I know that if I put in the effort and I put in the resources into my production, I get this market share, I would do that. But they don't have the resources, they don't have the access to these facilities. So this is where the government comes in to channel funds and policies towards these farmers.
So is 2019 the year for self-sufficiency in wheat production attainable, judging by the issues that are being faced by the farmers and the rest of the value chain?
Yeah, so right now we are at 12.2% self-sufficiency, so that's a huge gap to fill in just 3 years. And like you said, the production deficit is too high for us to just assume that 2019 will be the year of self-sufficiency. So we're on the right track, but it's still going to take a lot of time for us to get to self-sufficiency. So right now, for local producers, they can mix their locally produced wheat with international wheat in order to make it more attractive to consumers. Start them off with that before moving on and channeling most of their products to the consumers.
But then, taking a look at the report you sent in for today, you notice that the price of wheat on the global level has also kind of dropped.
Yes.
So is that maybe the reason why? But even at that, it's still difficult to access forex to import this anyway.
Yes, that is why that and also the self-sufficiency plan is why the government has scrapped off 30% of wheat importation, because that is a serious burden on the available forex we have in the economy. So yes, so this is why we see different policies trying to prop up our sector, because we're at about 50% of capacity, so there's still a lot of capacity to cover in order to help our production levels. So this is why the government is trying and channeling policies towards wheat production.
But then you see, wheat futures, I've got the details now, wheat futures are down 0.49% to $4.06 per bushel, and we have the Canadian and Australian wheat. What type in particular do Nigerians import?
We import the winter wheat, and we import the red. I will get you the details next time, but yes, so we import a variety of wheat classes, because you also use wheat for consumption, which is 70% globally, and then you also use wheat for animal feed. So right now wheat has been used as a substitute for animal feed because of its texture and its attractiveness for these livestock rearers. So yes, wheat is a very, very commercial product, and yes, we see that in the world today.
Okay, so for you, and giving your outlook on how wheat production will be like, especially as Nigerians and the federal government work towards attaining self-sufficiency by 2019.
Yes.
What do you think would you be expecting to see? What would you be expecting to see, and not what do you think? What would you be expecting to see?
I'm expecting to see an increase in the production of wheat, because just recently the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development announced that about 100 hectares of land have been cultivated for wheat production, and they yield about 4.5 tons of yield per hectare. So you can see that we are in the right direction towards self-sufficiency, but the time of 3 years is still a little bit too optimistic for us to reach that goal.
So for you, 2019, too optimistic. What should be the target? Outside of 2019?
Outside of 2019, exactly.
Okay, yes. So that's plainly very safe. Amaka, thank you so much for joining me on the program, and of course talking to those issues with our self-sufficiency in wheat production, at least by 2019 or outside of 2019.
Yes.